Hi, I'm Jim, and ever since I was young and learned about Arthurian legend and Monty Python, I've had a fascination with English culture. As my knowledge grew, I came across the English canal system and its importance on the Industrial Revolution. While the Exeter Ship Canal is generally regarded as the first major canal built, the majority of the system was dug between 1700 to 1830 by the navvies, or navigators, usually Irish immigrants with little more than pickaxes and shovels. After the arrival of the steam locomotive, the decline of the canal system was inevitable as a way of transportation of goods. While many of the routes were falling into disrepair, a number of volunteers were working to restore the waterways and keep them viable for leisure and nature conservation. Now, the Canal and River Trust are working to restore, improve, and maintain the canal system for future generations to enjoy. Of those people who are, some are sharing their experiences on YouTube, a fun little source for, well, just about anything.
I think it's worth mentioning now that I've never been to England. It's always been a bucket list destination for me, but it always seems like I had to work towards something before I could go. Some goal had to be met. I don't know. Anyway, I decided it was time.
I have some friends in Ross Trevor County Down in Ireland who were generous enough to allow me to invite myself over for a visit. That is a separate video coming soon. And after catching up with them for a few days, I was off to Liverpool to start my fortnight's journey exploring a small part of the canal community. I subscribe to roughly 25 different channels on canal-related topics, and I have reached out to a few that I feel represent a wide range of vloggers to see if they'd be willing to share their thoughts, opinions, experiences, or whatever else they had on their mind with me.
Surprisingly, they did, and I hope you find them just as interesting as I do. Oh, and a fortnight is 2 weeks.
First, I was heading to North Wales to meet with Mark Holdsworth. His channel, The Narrowboat Sessions, focuses on recording local musicians in his home studio on his narrowboat, the Cariad 4. The profits from the sale of CDs of the resulting sessions go to cancer research.
Great intro. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here.
Oh, God, that's a big subject to start, isn't it? Well, I used to be a musician. Suffered a bit of nerve damage in a rather nasty accident where I tried lorry juggling for a change instead of van juggling. Came off worse for wear, and unfortunately it left me with permanent damage to the nerves down my left side. So I stopped playing keys for people, and I just started recording people. The narrowboat sessions started 10 years ago, nearly to the day actually. We started recording, well, we went up to Headhampton Bridge and started recording people with a view to trying to help them up the musical ladder. I've had quite a fortunate lifestyle, because I've met many people in my keyboard days and they went on to become famous, and they're all lovely people, but I never really tried, and I sort of kept in the background all the time. But I realised that I had these sort of contacts that would be useful to emerging artists. It was a bit difficult at first because, of course, I've managed to keep my name away from everybody for years and years and years. And so we were asking people to come aboard to play, and nobody was coming forward because, of course, nobody knew me. Why would they come and play on my narrowboat? What benefit was I going to be to them? And so my lovely friend Maggie Boyle, God rest her soul, she was Steve Tilston's ex-wife. Now, I don't know if you're American countrymen over there know of Steve Tilston, but he's a bit of a god amongst folk guitarists, okay? Truly brilliant man, really is. He and Maggie were married for many, many years, and they were known as the god and goddess of folk music. Sadly, they were divorced in 2007 and hadn't really done anything or even spoken to each other for 7 years at that time. But when they turned down playing for the BBC as a reunion gig, but when I asked them, I explained to them what we were doing, you're trying to raise money for cancer research and helping other artists get up the ladder, they agreed to come and do a session. Sadly, Maggie died a few weeks later. She had terminal cancer when she came to play for us. But bless her, after she did her session with Steve, we were moored in Hebden Bridge where they both live. And once she'd got home, she got her address book out and she phoned round pretty much every great musician that's up in the Hebden Bridge area and told them to get their backsides down here to come and do a session for us. So from 9 o'clock the next morning, we were having these phone calls. It's just practically off the hook for a few days. People wanted to come and do a session for us. So in the first year, we ended up doing 69 sessions. The next year after that, we did 96 sessions.
I actually have that written down.
Oh, right. Okay. And yeah, ever since then, we've had to cap it at 120 sessions.
2018?
Yeah.
2017? Yep.
Yeah.
104 in 2019.
That's right.
But 150, I mean, it's,
we
it's right
capped
around
100.
there.
Not everybody can make it, unfortunately, due to illness,
Right.
alien abduction, car breakdown, that sort of thing.
Musician problems.
That's right. So this year, we opened the diary last Tuesday. It's a week ago, but we actually filled yesterday. But what I'm going to do is this year I'm going to record 130 sessions with a view to at least 10 people dropping out. Because we recorded 120 sessions last year. Unfortunately, 8 of them couldn't be used, so we only did 100 only 112 went out. The gist of it is, if somebody gets signed to a major record label, we've done our bit. So we don't promote them any further. That's down to their new record label management to sort that out. So yes, in some ways it's good, in some ways it's bad, but yeah, we're hoping to have 120 sessions completed this year.
Right.
And if for any reason we don't, then it's just a good thing for the people that have been taken off the list.
Right.
One hopes.
How does that happen? I mean, do the musicians
They all
sign
contact
up?
us, yeah.
And then is there any vetting process? Do you actually, judge them on their talent?
Not
Or-
really. I mean, I still write music myself, so unfortunately, if I'm writing, I don't like to listen to other people's music because it
Agreed.
invades your head. There's nothing worse
And
than
get
an
somebody
earworm.
else's
Yes,
tune in your head.
yeah.
Exactly.
I remember my friend Henry Priestman. He was the guy behind the Mighty War, I think, the Yachts, Christians with the brothers Christian. His middle name is Christian. That's why they call themselves the Christians. But he was writing something, and he kept saying, "Do you know, I'm sure I know this tune from somewhere." And it wasn't until he'd gone through all the final production that he realised it was the theme to the Hovis advert at the time.
Oh my God! Yeah, if you start writing a song that says, "Yeah, wait a minute, where have I heard this?"
Yes, yes.
It's not a variation on a theme either.
Identical copy. Never mind. But people get in touch with us. The narrowboat sessions has become self-vetting because the quality of the musicians that come on board now, you look at that and you think, A, I'm not good enough. I can't go near this. I won't touch it with a barge pole. Or B, your friends will say to you, "You're as good as they are. Go for it." And we seem to have had a nice amount of success with getting people not just known but signed for deals, music deals and LPs and that sort of thing, and helping to promote them. Things just go from strength to strength. We're hoping to. There's a lovely female group last year, Helen Walford and her Vox Americana. and we're hoping to have started off an American tour for them for either later on this year or early next year. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you any shortage of artists, but
No.
that was clearly
It's a funny thing we were talking about. I said to the wife the other day, I said, remember when we started doing this? And I said, we'll probably only go for 5 or 6 years before we have to start doing repeats. You see, we've never actually repeated a session. There's, 3,500 of them out there now. No repeats. It's a new one every time.
I think that just goes to show how much talent is in this country.
Absolutely. And what talent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, was it last night? Daisy Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
What a voice.
I've seen her. I mean, I get her as recommendations on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, she's just fantastic.
Yes.
And Josie Field, and there's so many, Susie Wall.
Yeah,
I could keep reading. And
one song by Sue. I don't mean to interrupt you. In the pocket of her jeans.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk about making an old man cry.
and the thing is that it's all interconnected because she absolutely worships an old friend of ours, Amy Wadge. Amy Wadge was a struggling troubadour up until about, how long have we been married? Sue and I have been together for years, but we only got married 9 years ago. 9 years ago, next month, I think it is. And Amy wrote Thinking Out Loud for young Ed Sheeran, and she sang it at our wedding a couple of days after it was first released by Ed Sheeran. Okay, so Amy was Ed's mentor at Island Records. That's the connection there, you see. So it's all interconnected. So Susie Wall has been hero worshipping Amy, does a lot of things in the style of Amy. Amy is an old friend of ours, and it's like sitting right in the middle of this amazing spider's web. They know them, they know them, they know them, they're connected to them, they're married to them. And so it goes on. It just, and it really is networking. It's a fantastic thing to see.
I sat and talked with Mark for over 4 hours, and we continued our afternoon talking gear, looking at the sights, and continuing our conversation about music and life in general. Next, I went to see Wolfie McMullen in Wolverhampton. Wolf is unique in that he doesn't have a YouTube channel. However, he can be found on Instagram at Wolfie on the Water. I'll have links to everyone in the usual space. He has plans for one, but right now he's just living and working on the cut. What made this special was that it was going to be my first trip on a narrowboat.
How did you come to narrowboating?
Probably like 12, 15 years ago, yeah. It was like my girlfriend at the time, her dad had a narrowboat, so we spent a lot of time on that. So just like, we stayed on it quite a lot, we went fishing and stuff, just loved it.
Is he sad that you see you go?
Yeah. Then we went to, you probably heard of the Crick Boat Show?
Yes.
So I went to that, and we were going to buy a boat like this, and we went, saw all the new builds, all the brand new boats sitting out of the water, and we actually went to, there's a Polish company, we got a brand new boat built from scratch, because they're a Polish company, it was cheaper, steel's cheaper over there, so we went for this massive wide beam boat, because it was me and my girlfriend and my 2 sons, so we needed something bigger.
Right.
So we had that for about 8 years or 6 years, and then we broke up. So then we sold it, and I bought this.
I know you're not on YouTube yet, but your plans are to start.
I think it was always the plan, but just because my day job is a graphic designer and video editor, so it's a bit of a busman's holiday coming after work to edit videos.
Right. Yeah.
So I've got hours and hours of footage, but it will come. I've got the name for it. It's Wolfie on the Water.
You've heard it here first, folks.
Watch the space. Another like 10 years will be there.
Patience. Have you learned a lot about the country and just from traveling?
More so since I got this boat, because I've traveled a lot more. Because we had a white paper originally, it was just a bit restricted.
Right.
Further either south or north, there's no connecting bit.
Right, Midlands is kind of out.
It's all narrow locks. So since I've got this, I've traveled, I've come up from outside London, did a lot of the north up to the like in Wales as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think you visited there this week.
Yeah.
Just in that last this year, spent like it's just this countryside up there. Spent like 4 months on the like Golfing Canal, and then just cruising around the Shroppy. And I'm
Right.
planning to do the 4 counties ring after starting next week. Then I did the I can't say it, the Pontycliffe the Aqueduct last year, and I'm scared of heights.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them either.
But you can imagine standing here looking over the edge.
Oh, I know nothing there to stop
Nothing
you,
at all, yeah. But once you're on there,
other than your fear.
yeah, and gripping onto this.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you're on there, it's just amazing.
Oh, it's such a beautiful view.
And then the way back down from that, I did the Anderton boat lift.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the plan. Had to do a detour to get there. I wasn't going to do it, but thought I'm up this area, so I'll do it. That was a amazing bit of kit as well. Just you're on that for like 5 minutes, but it's just
Right.
ticked off the list.
Right off the silver propeller list.
Indeed, yeah.
Any plans to do that? You think?
In what way?
The silver propeller challenge.
I've not seen that. Tell me.
Oh, it's basically it's a thing. I don't know if it's by the CRT general necessarily, but it's a scheme where you get certain badges for doing certain parts of the canal system.
I've not heard that.
Yeah, they're mostly more of the unused and less traveled sections.
Yeah.
I think it's a way to
Just promote that
boost.
area.
yeah, boost awareness if nothing
Right.
else. And if canal's not being used, it gets clogged
Closed,
and everything like that. I think
Well, that's news to me. I'll have to look
yeah,
that up.
Narrowboat Will is doing it
Oh, cool.
right now. How long do you see yourself doing this?
As long as I can.
Really?
Yeah, I've got. Because I think I've got a bad back and stuff, so even that, as long as I can manage it, yeah. I think because I don't really see myself in the house just yet. I
Right.
like moving around too much.
That's, I think, you have to have a certain amount of wanderlust, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think, but that probably the dream would be if you ever do go back to a house, I think we'd have to have the boat at the bottom of the garden. So if you get that need, you can go.
Right, you get the itchy feet.
Yeah. 'Cause I do get, even when I'm cruising, I think that's why I spent so long in Gotham last year. Because you can stay in most places for 14 days,
Right.
but I've never really stayed in a place. I'll stay 2 days, 2-3 days max. And I like the cruising side of it. Must take a long time. A lot of bricks.
Yes. Yes. I knew how to build some scaffolding back then, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no man lifts or anything
Yeah.
like that not there. And it's just geometrically the way it's put, this way.
Perfect.
Rather, I mean, and we were talking earlier about Telford, how he was pretty much illiterate,
Yeah.
and yet the man achieves so many great feats, the tunnel underneath the Thames.
Yeah.
The lock we just passed through we'll come back to. Yeah. He died as a fairly young man.
Yeah, I heard the story of how he designed it. Because you couldn't really show it as a mathematical thing. You actually sat down with, I think it was like 2 bits of cheese, cut it in half. It was, here's how the arches work. That was his design, and they went for it.
That's amazing. How do you get funding for that? And, excuse me, Your Majesty. 2 wedges of cheese.
I guess people wanted to make more money. They wanted to move their products quicker.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah, when you got industrial backing, somebody who's going to stand to make a lot of money, they're going to invest in something like that. you're a gongoozler. Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
How'd I do? Comments below.
That's a lock gate open.
After the camera was off, we had lunch and I met Wolfie's charming girlfriend Rachel. Then back to his mooring for a quick pint and a bit of a strum. Then a ride back to my hotel in a classic VW van. Thanks so much for my first narrow boat trip, Wolf, and the extra footage. Next, I was headed further south to Newbury to see Haley, Richard, and Twiglet on their wide beam Verve to talk about their channel Wide Beam and Wellingtons.
Richard, Haley, thank you for joining me. You were one of the first people I reached out to this year, and you were the first to respond. And I just want to let you know that it is appreciated.
That was you.
It was me. Oh, that's really nice.
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, this has really been a lifelong dream of mine, coming to England. But I guess this gives me an excuse, or a reason. I'm still trying to have a vacation, but, it's what I wanted to do, is come talk to people, because that's what the country is, isn't it? It's not necessarily a piece of land. It's the people who live
Oh,
there,
definitely. Yeah.
And everybody's
Gonna meet a lot.
nice. So I just want to say, how did you guys come to cruising the canals? I mean,
Oh, wow. Yeah, a bit of an odd one, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, I think we used to watch YouTube channels, didn't we, about canal boating?
No.
Did we not? I
No.
thought we did.
Well-
Who knows?
I think we may have stumbled across one, and then we booked a holiday, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
And we rented one. This was
Well, it was
just before, well, it's after the lockdown, wasn't it?
It was in between lockdown 1 and lockdown 2.
Yeah. Did we have
Yeah.
the little boat there?
Yes, we did.
So
Yeah.
I bought a little boat. Just a little outboard boat. Done it all up in the workshop, didn't I? And then we were out and we were cruising up and down the Basingstoke Canal. And then we booked a holiday, didn't we? And then we started to look and find other people doing it. And we were like, well, it's good fun. So we booked that, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that was
narrowboat
literally
holiday.
just before the lockdown, wasn't
Yeah.
it? We got away with that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
It was freezing cold and we got soaked.
It was November,
know.
wasn't it?
I got
Oh.
soaked because we were driving, the we was inside.
right?
Yeah.
Royal?
I was stood there like a wet lemon, wasn't I? Going, why are we doing this? But it was such good fun,
It was
wasn't it?
good fun. Yeah. Yeah.
And we'd been up and down. It was the Canal Avon, wasn't it? And we'd been past some of these, haven't we? We were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I remember the
Yeah.
first time, I think, because we saw one come down near Cane Hill Flight, didn't we?
Mm.
And we were both like, oh my
It's like
word,
seeing a
that is
jumbo jet for the first
massive.
time.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
like, oh, weren't we?
Yeah.
Ooh, what I could do
Yeah.
with that kind of.
And that's
That-
where I think I said, because we were on a narrowboat and it was lovely, but it was we were walking sideways everywhere. And I was like, oh, I could have one of those. That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's sort of where maybe like the little spark began, really.
Until we then went and looked at one, and that was it. And we were
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
So that would be the small boat. What do you call it? Social distancing.
That's
That's
right.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, it was, wasn't it?
yeah,
Must
yeah,
have some pictures of that somewhere.
yeah.
Oh,
Probably.
please
yeah,
share.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to add that.
We
to
got
my-
attacked by.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got attacked by a swan, didn't we?
We did,
We
yeah,
stopped for lunch, so we weren't even in it, and this swan followed us down the canal, swam across, and it was bashing the boat, wasn't it? It was actually attacking the boat because we had obviously, got a bit too close to it in its mind.
Did you ever, either of you, do it beforehand, like on a family holiday type of thing?
No, nothing. That was our first boating holiday, wasn't it?
No, you've always been like what I would call a water baby, haven't you?
Yeah, I'd done all the
Because you
canoeing and
yeah.
canoe
Right.
instructor before that, and done a lot on the Thames and that sort of stuff, but never owned anything like this.
No.
Right.
and we'd
and I
never
used to do
rented
it with
anything.
you when we first went out, because we were
Canoeing.
first boyfriend and girlfriend. I was 15, you were 16. Sounds like
Yeah.
a song, that does, doesn't it?
We're not singing.
We went out for 2
Cue
years.
the playback.
We went out for 2 years, didn't we? Then we split up, went our separate ways, and then got back together 27 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, so you capsized
It's
me,
kismet.
didn't you?
Something.
Well, we won't go into that.
Spoke of that, actually. Didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Kismet, yeah. Kids' inheritance spent on this.
Love that.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Why share on YouTube?
Why the YouTube? I don't know why we started that. I think because we started to watch a few others and we were like, oh, it'd be an interesting journey. Perhaps we'll do it.
It's a bit more emotional for me in some ways.
Yours is probably more dark than emotional.
I do have quite a dark side. No, for me, I suppose there is like the element of, because my daughter lost her dad very suddenly, and so for me, there's the element of when I'm gone, it's something for her to watch as well.
Right.
It's like a video diary.
Like
isn't
a video diary, yeah, sort of for her. And also probably for me, like, obviously with a teaching background, I like sort of helping people. And if we can learn the hard way and other people not learn in that way.
Oh, we've definitely learned the hard way. Yeah,
and
we
get a lot of feedback, don't we, to say that we've helped people with different things. So I like that.
I like that bit. Yeah, I prefer that bit.
Yeah, but probably, more sort of just for fun, isn't it, really, as well?
I mean, we started it before we had the boat, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it was looking for boats when we first started it. And you're like filming away, and I'm sat there like that.
Do you plan on going further afield? I know you have to stay around the perimeter of the Midlands. So is there plans to like go further afield? You know, go further north?
Not at the moment, no. No. Maybe in the future. I don't know. Because at the moment we're still working. So we have both got jobs. So we have to stay south. Really. Yeah. We're going to get back down to the Thames, aren't we? Yeah. So, and then, up and down the Thames.
That's summers? The summer.
That's our summer, yeah. And possibly after summer, we'll stay down that way. But,
going by Hampton Court, I mean, that's
stay there for
be,
free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you a penny to look out your kitchen window. You can see they're doing the washing up here. It's a nice palace. How can you do that? And
that's funny, isn't
one
it?
palace to another.
Yeah, and you drive your car in. It's cost you £12.50 before you've even got over the bridge.
Right, and
then we're sat here.
It's funny, isn't it?
It is.
It's your window changes every day. You know, that's yeah.
Well, we would like to. I mean, do a lot more travelling, but maybe
we can't really
when we're retired. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Little
narrowboat.
I'd like to get an RV actually. I'm digressing now.
God. It's a narrowboat and RV.
You better get back to work.
Right? Yeah.
I had done a small video before I left, and encouraging people to support other channels through whatever they have, merchandise and things. And did merchandise sell? I mean, I bought.
Not really.
No. Well, that's got the mugs, you know, the stickers, the brisket for a biscuit. That has a very.
I can't believe that hasn't.
Your why being in Welling, the sticker is on my guitar case, and you know, and I'm trying to find a very special spot for this one. If you don't know, Haley's a bit of an artist.
Talented.
Yes. And does she have a name?
Just Evil Squirrel.
Just Evil Squirrel. Or as I like to call her, my ex-girlfriend Squirrel. Why haven't you called me?
It's yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Haley, Richard, thank you
so much.
Oh, thank you for coming. It's been
Yeah.
a laugh.
It's coming from America.
I know.
I was like, no. Turn up. You've been had. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not some jackass kind
Yeah,
of,
actually turned up.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's very sincere. I really do enjoy the channel, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Well, that was week 1. I wish I had some wisdom to impart to you at this point, but I was still trying to get my head around the fact that I'm finally in England. One thing is certain, though. I was right in thinking that this was going to be a holiday like no other, because leaving a comment below isn't quite the same thing.